Hi everyone, again, welcome. My name is Janelle Ketcher. I'm the Digital Media Manager at UCLA Arts and Healing, and we are joined today by Bonnie Harnden, who is a drama therapist, psychoanalyst, couples and family therapist, and associate professor in Concordia University's Creative Arts Therapies Department. So thank you, Bonnie, for being with us today.
You're so welcome.
She's going to be showing us how we can create a movement sentence from the comfort of wherever you are right now to foster awe and gratitude in your life. If you like what you learned today, we welcome you to head over to our website and check out our upcoming 2-day training program called Gratitude for Healing, Renewal, and Social Action. And it's an online training, so you're welcome to join from wherever you are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Bonnie.
Great. So I'm so happy to be here. I initially became very interested in this work because I worked with children in the emergency department here in Montreal for many years with complex trauma. So I saw families entering the ER in crisis. And I worked with these families and kids therapeutically and wrote a play about my experiences and did a lot of, was a part of a big quantitative study. And I became really interested in how trauma and stress affects our nervous system, how stress and trauma takes us out of a state of belonging. It makes us not present for our lives, for our relationships, for our unfolding experience. And I saw that a lot of the families and kids I worked with were in kind of this state of fight, flight, freeze. They were in survival mode. They were either in these kind of hypervigilant states of fight, flight, and kind of this underlying stress that was revving in their bodies all the time, or they were frozen, they were cut off and numb. And so I worked with them therapeutically, and I really went into the effects of trauma and how it affects us over time. But recently I've become much more interested in how can we bring ourselves back to a state of belonging? How can we move into being present in our bodies for each other? How can we kind of join back this river of life and come back into belonging with ourselves and the world? And then in that state of belonging, really be able to stay present for the beauty of the world, but also to stay present for the suffering and to take social action. And what is so powerful about what we're going to learn in December and this little hack that we're going to do today is that we're really trying to retrain our eyes to see beauty and to notice what's working in our lives. And I've been at this for a couple of years, and it's taken me over time to really change my body and my nervous system and my way of interacting with the world. And it's been beautiful doing it with a group of students. We've been kind of doing this a research project now on Zoom of retraining our eyes to notice beauty and goodness. And what we've been doing, there's some incredible research coming out right now about the benefits of awe and gratitude. And so we've been taking those studies and moving them into embodiment, moving them into our bodies, moving them into art. And we're going to do a little embodiment today. And it has had a profound effect. And so I'm going to be teaching you this little life hack, but also if you join our training, we're going to be really kind of going through the research step by step and learning how to notice our nervous systems and bring our nervous systems into a state of renewal. And what is so powerful about this research is that when we notice the good, everything improves in our lives. Our relationships improve, our parenting improves, we're less depressed, we're less anxious, and we're more socially engaged. We care more about each other. We want to make a difference in the world, and we have renewed energy to do that. We kind of move out of a state of numbness into a state of action. So one of my favorite studies we're gonna do from the awe research that shows that when we notice experiences of awe, we have less inflammation in our bodies and we have more pro-social behavior. And it's one of those positive emotions that immediately shows pro-social behavior. So Janelle's going to do this with me. And what I would invite all of you to do is to just think about an experience that you had of awe. And it can be a recent experience. It can be from a long time ago. And I'd like you to just rest into that memory. And as you rest into that memory, your nervous system's going to come down. It's going to come down into more of a parasympathetic state. And you might feel this kind of warmth and expansion in your chest. I can see Janelle's kind of already trying. Good for you. And that's your vagus nerve kind of turning on your parasympathetic system. Now, what happens is as our nervous systems come down, sometimes they panic a little. Sometimes they say, oh, wait, don't come out of hypervigilance, or don't stop being numb. So our minds can get a little noisy, or you might feel a contraction. So if there's this awe experience, you want to stay with the good of the experience. If your mind wants to go to, well, what happened after wasn't so good, or I should be doing this more, or any kind of judgment, I want you to gently put that to the side and just stay with, you're allowed to stay with the beauty for a minute and just take in that giant, you're having less inflammation in your system as you do this. So just like take in that multivitamin of beauty and goodness and just hang out with it for a minute. Yeah. And as you do that, I'd like you to imagine that as you really sit with that memory, 3 movements that really capture that memory. We're going to pull it in a little farther. So 3 movements. So it could be a movement like this, could be a movement like this, could be a movement like this, but just find 3 movements. And you can do this in 2 ways. You can visualize yourself doing the movement and really sink into it, or you can get up and just actually make those movements that capture that moment of awe and beauty and just hang out with it. There's no rush. We're not going anywhere. How are you doing, Janelle?
Good. It's all in my head. I'm an internal processing kind of person.
Nice.
So I've got the memory, I've got the moment, I've got the movements.
Oh, beautiful. Do you want to do the movements with me, or do you want to imagine them? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I can share them.
Okay, let's see them.
All right, so my first movement, I guess, is just this.
Yes.
And the second one is just a rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
And the third one, I think this feels like it.
Lovely. Beautiful. So is it okay just to repeat those movements for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
And just really let yourself feel them. And the group can keep repeating their movements, or they can witness. Just imagine we could all move together with our movement, and also kind of connecting to Janelle's movement. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's do it again one more time. Yeah, that rocking motion is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And just notice what you're noticing as you do those movements. It's okay to hang out with the good. Even if your mind gets noisy, let's just stay in this moment. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, exactly. So Janelle just took a really yummy deep breath, and that was her nervous system literally resetting into a parasympathetic state. So if any of you take deep breaths, just enjoy them as they're happening. Yeah, yeah. What are you noticing, Janelle?
I have a very busy mind a lot of the times, and I'm noticing that I'm not really thinking about anything.
Wow.
So it started with, like, I know the memory is there, but I just kind of have a clean slate right now, which feels really refreshing.
Isn't that lovely? Just to have a clean slate. Yeah, and I would just invite you to hang out with that feeling. Yeah, and if any of you out there are having a clean slate feeling, or feelings of warmth, feelings of belonging. I would just really invite you to stay there. And if your mind gets noisy or your body gets noisy, that's just your nervous system trying to go back into sympathetic. And that's absolutely okay. Just say, yes, I know you're there, noisy brain and body, but right now I'm safe. And you can look around and see that you're safe. And then you can just hang out with this yummy parasympathetic state. It's just literally like you've just taken in a multivitamin of goodness. Right? And you'll have less, you'll just notice that you'll feel better after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll be kind of doing a lot more of this during our workshop, and really kind of working on this. How can we come back to our bodies and come back, learn how to bring our, even life is going to continue to be stressful, but how can we really work to kind of help our bodies rejuvenate themselves and restore? And how there's a ton of little hacks I'm going to teach you about noticing gratitude in your relationships, noticing gratitude in everyday life, using a creative process to kind of bring these things further and further in and kind of make them habits. It takes us a long time to change, and we've been really at the university studying ways to kind of help us develop these change hacks so we can pull these things in quicker and faster and renew. And it's not, as we retrain our eyes to see beauty, it's not about not noticing suffering. In fact, it's about being able to engage with it deeper and to actually care more and to be more present and to take action. Mm-hmm. So it's really about having this kind of sense of fullness and coming back into presence and belonging to ourselves, our bodies, and to the wider world. So it's been so lovely. And I'm going to teach you a lot about the nervous system and about trauma and how to kind of help your nervous systems continue to support healing from trauma and coming back. Yeah. So it's been so lovely to share this time with all of you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bonnie. And to reiterate, I hope everyone who participated at home, I hope you're feeling a little more relaxed or whatever that yummy feeling. I love that word,
right?
Yummy state of being is for you. I hope you're feeling it right now.
Yeah, and I would just invite you to keep noticing, and even just if you want to push this mechanism further, to notice all the beauty around you today, and kind of imagine that you could hang out with it and see if you feel that expansion in your chest that I was talking about, and see if you can hang out with it a little bit longer than you might normally before moving on. Just hang out with it, just like that when you have a piece of chewing gum and you stretch it out. Just see if you can stretch out the moments of gratitude or goodness.
A good challenge for the day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much, Bonnie. And for anyone who's watching, if you really enjoyed this, again, we welcome you to head to our website at www.uclaartsandhealing.org. And that's linked into our bio as well. So please head there to check out our upcoming program with Bonnie. If you want to spend 2 days with her, this is the way to do it.
And my beautiful graduate students, they're also going to help out.
Oh, yes. It'll be a party.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. And thank you to everyone who joined us, and have a great rest of your day.
Lots of goodness out there. Bye-bye.
Bye.